In May, the Greater Cincinnati Foundation welcomed a new leader. As president and CEO of GCF, Ellen Katz oversees one of the largest community foundations in the U.S. with assets of more than $540 million. GCF leverages the power of philanthropy as a permanent, flexible, tax-advantaged charitable resource for our community. Prior to joining the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, Katz served for 10 years as president and CEO of the Children's Home of Cincinnati. In this morning's Business Insight, we are delighted to welcome Ellen Katz. She is with Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio. Ellen and Jamie.
Thanks, Peg. Ellen, thanks for being here today.
My pleasure.
So 5 months on the job. How are you settling in?
It's great. It's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah. Now, you're following somebody who held the job for 18 years.
She did.
I know from my job, following somebody who'd held the job for about 14 years, it's not always easy to make it your own. How's that going?
Well, Kathy left a pretty amazing gift in terms of positioning the Greater Cincinnati Foundation as a prominent community leader. So it's been pretty easy to settle in and have a position in the community, and it just gives me opportunities to build off a really strong platform and look at where we can go next.
Well, Cincinnati, we were talking in the segment before, Cincinnati is known so much for their philanthropic efforts.
Yep.
Why? What makes Cincinnati that way?
Oh, it's an incredibly generous city of people who are so proud of the entire region, frankly, and people are rooted here and love to give back. The corporations really care about the community in which they're doing business. And I just think the spirit of, people here just comes together in a really philanthropic culture overall.
Well, that's great. And it's great that you're there to be able to match everybody together.
Yep.
Talk a little bit where you think GCF's going. I mean, is there big changes, or have you been there long enough to make any big changes?
I wouldn't say massive changes, but definitely placing an orientation around our donors and philanthropists, people who want to give back, trying to create new opportunities for them to engage in affinity groups or giving circles where we can help them match their interests with initiatives and opportunities in the community, and they can collectively do more as a group than they could do individually. Yeah.
Well, you guys do so many good things. You work with so many organizations. What makes you the most proud to be involved in an organization like this?
Oh, wow. So an incredibly passionate group of stakeholders, from our donors, our board, our staff, people in the community who just know of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation. Its incredible position as really a neutral matchmaker between what we need in this community and people who are inspired to help as volunteers or financially. It's a pretty inspiring mission to be a part of.
Well, you've got a great team. I know I run into your team on various different opportunities, and as we just talked in the previous segment, you guys are partnering with us for Cincinnati Stories.
Really excited about that.
And we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And I think any time that we as a city and as a community can tell these kind of stories, it only helps your mission and ultimately helps the community.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, oh, absolutely. And helps donors understand where they can be the most impactful with their resources. And that's, what we're in it for, is to match philanthropists with the amazing causes and organizations that exist in the community. So it's perfect.
Well, I think all too often the education side of it gets kind of lost. Everybody knows it's great to give. I want to give my money. I want to give my time. But sometimes you just don't know where to give, because you don't know enough about the many organizations out there. And that's where I think it helps when you guys are involved, and it just gives a better mission to everything.
Absolutely. And we all want to support those organizations and build their capacities so they can continue to serve and do more across the community.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm sure we're going to have you back on and talk about it, once you've been there a year as well.
Sounds great. I'll be back.
Thanks, Ellen.
You bet.